If you want to write a great chord progression without knowing any music theory, welcome. In this tutorial I will show you how to write chords in Hookpad. And if you make it to the end, we'll do some magic, so stick around. We start with the Twinkle Twinkle melody, which we wrote in the last video. You might briefly pause the video and copy the melody into your Hookpad so you can follow along with this tutorial. If you do not know how to write a melody, I recommend watching part 2 of our beginners tutorial series first. Now to write a chord progression, all you need to do is to click on the chord section, select the duration of your chord, and type the numbers from 1 to 7 with your left hand. And another 1. This works just the same as writing a melody. But instead of single notes, Hookpad creates a diatonic chord over each scale degree. This leaves us with 3 major, 3 minor, and 1 diminished chord. Now let's go back and listen to our harmonized twinkle melody. Woof, this sounds really awkward. I have a feeling that our chord progression created lots of unstable notes. Roughly explained, a note is stable if the same note is also part of the chord below. So for every triad chord, there are 3 stable and 4 unstable melody notes. If you want to learn more about stable notes and how to use them, have a look at our Hooktheory book at chapter 3. This might sound a bit complicated, but fortunately Hookpad has built in an easy way to find all stable notes for every chord, the stable mode. Now all stable scale degrees are colored, while all the unstable ones remain white. So let's see if we can improve our track. The easiest way to find a chord progression which fits to your melody is to start with only 1 chord and check which melody notes are stable. So let's delete all chords and write a row of 1 chords instead. Now the first thing we can see is that for the 1 chord, the scale degrees 1, 3 and 5, or in other words, all red, yellow and blue notes are stable. This means that if the melody uses one of those notes, the 1 chord is always a good choice. So we don't need to change those 5 chords. So what do we do with the other chords? To make things easy, we use only the other 2 major chords, the 4 chord and the 5 chord. As our basic chords consist of 3 notes each, if a note is stable, you should see only 3 colored notes. In our case, if we use the 5 chord, we can see 4 colored notes. Whereas if we use the 4 chord, there are only 3. This means that for the 4 chord, scale degree 6 is stable. So let's also change the other 2 chords. We select the next chord, type 4, and check the number of the colored boxes. As we can see only 3 of them, the 4 chord seems to be fitting here too. And for our last chord to change, it's not the 4 chord, but this time the 5 chord. Now all melody notes are stable and we can turn off the stable mode again. Just like we did it in the last tutorial with the melody, you can also change the durations of the chords with your mouse or the hotkeys from H to semicolon with your right hand. You can find all those hotkeys in the duration section. Before we go on, let's take a short break to recall what we have learned so far. Type the hotkeys from H to semicolon with your right hand to select the duration of a chord, while the left hand stays on the numbers from 1 to 7 to select which chord is written. And to check if a chord fits to your melody, turn on the stable mode. Alright, let's save our song, and now it's time for that little magic trick I promised you at the beginning of the video. Let's first create a new project. Now we select the duration of 1 bar and type 8. This opens Hookpad's Intelligent Magic Chord feature, which shows you the most popular chord progressions of our time. To get unlimited access to this feature, you need a Hookpad Plus subscription. Otherwise, you can use it only once per song. Now the really cool thing is that every time I type 8 again, Hookpad automatically puts the most popular chord next to the last chord. So look what happens if I just keep pressing 8. The same 4 chords get repeated over and over. I think this should sound really familiar. Hookpad just wrote a 4-chord song for you. Probably every one of you imagined another song which uses those 4 chords. This is no wonder, as on YouTube you can find hundreds of compilations of songs which use all exactly the same chord progression. I allowed myself to add some melody and write my own 4-chord song. Perhaps one day I will find it in one of those compilations too. In the next video I will show you how to write lyrics in Hookpad. So hit the subscribe button to get all updates of our channel, where you will also find lots of videos about music theory. We will release a new video every week, so stay tuned.